Hello again folks, welcome to part 2 of the Persistence of Vision clock kit. I've taken the liberty of constructing the power supply PCB. I was conscious that the previous video was about 20 minutes long and there was a lot of waffling in it, so I just wanted to keep this video short and sweet. So yeah, I've constructed the power supply board to try and facilitate that. I didn't think it was critical that I showed you how to construct it. The silk screen is clearly marked with the values, as is the points for the motor, power in, and the coil. So there we go, that's it constructed. Transistor in, of course, make sure you've got the correct orientation. And this one here, this Philips power transistor, or NEC I should say, it's a power transistor. I've as you can see, formed the leads just so that it fits within the enclosure. So there we go, that's the power supply complete. I've also attached the leads for the power. Sorry, for the, what's that for? That's for the LED. I've attached the power leads onto the socket in the enclosure, and I have constructed the remainder of this board with the exception of one component. So we've got the electrolytic cap on the end here. It's crucial that you crop the leads, put it in, form the leads, make sure they're not protruding too much, just snip them off. Remove the capacitor and snip them probably just about 0.5 millimeter shorter yet again, and then just solder them on the other side of the board. That will ensure that the photo diode on here isn't sitting proud of the board, and you know it's going to pick up the infrared LED correctly. I've put the crystal on here. There's a couple little points on here to you basically put it on sideways and you secure it at each side. I've put the header on here for programming, and I've put in the diodes. The larger of the two is the 5.1 volt. The two smaller ones are the same, and they go one on here and one on the power supply module just under that capacitor at the top left there. So, this part of the video, we're going to actually finish it off now, put it together. So, it should be hopefully fairly quick. He says, I always say that and it ends up being a half-an-hour video, but we will try and get this done as quickly as possible. So, the first thing we're going to construct is the this motor housing and motor support. Now, I have lined this up. As you can see, there's a couple of holes pre-drilled here. They did not match up with the holes on this larger part here, so I've just cut that out and enlarged it so that it lines up okay. So we'll just secure those two together. Now there's lots of different size screws, so I'm just going with the ones that I think are correct. So we'll just pop these ones in, and that's going to secure both corners of this platform. And of course they're just little self-tappers into this relatively soft plastic. There we go. I will then put the motor in. In fact, rather than put the motor in, I think I'm going to put the LED in first actually, and we'll put the LED in here, because what I want to do is get this into position, which I've already preformed, and I want to just get a little blob of solder on those leads, just to make it a bit easier when we're putting the thing together. So I'll just move those to the side to sort of secure it in place. And we'll try and do this without melting the plastic. So just go in like so, and like so. Yep, that didn't work. Okay, that's not going to short, it's not pretty, but that should be okay. And we will put the motor in now. So we'll just chuck it in there like so. Get the holes aligned. And pop the screws in. And of course the screws for securing the motor are the sort of smaller machine screws, which don't appear to want to bite into the holes in the motor. See, just give it a little bit of adjustment. No, just I'll pause the video, bear with me. Okay, apologies about that. Yeah, the holes aren't quite drilled in the correct position, so that was a little bit tricky trying to get it to locate into the holes in the top of the motor, but it's in there and it's nice and secure. So the next thing we're going to do is attach the leads onto the what do you call it, the LED. So we will get pre-tinned wires, which I prepared earlier, and we're just going to tack them onto those two leads in there. Now the top one here, as you can see, the longer is the anode, the positive, so just be careful with the polarity, otherwise this will not function at all. So this might be a little bit tricky, so I'll try to do it. If not, I may pause the video again, and we'll just go in there. Again, trying to not to melt the plastic. Yeah, that's on. And again with the positive side, the anode. And there we go. That's secure. And I've just failed. Yep. Okay. Of course, this gets mounted on this, so we're going to have to put those leads on after we've threaded those through there. Right, okay. Let's try again. It's quite footery, this. I will put the coil on. That's what we'll do next. This is not a brilliant series of videos. I will agree with you on that one. So we're just going to pop the leads for the coil down through those tiny little holes. Pop them in place there. Just make sure they're nice and flush, and make sure that coil is nice and central. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and secure that with some hot glue, funnily enough. And we don't need lots of this. This is just to stop it from sliding about. There we go. And just check check the positioning as you're going round, just to make sure it's not going to skew if and causes problems later on. So there we go, that should do the job. I don't think we need to glue this down. The instructions showed the LED and the coil leads being hot glued down, but I think it should be fine like so. Okay, right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all these leads through here. And in fact, if we bring the LED leads back through the other way at the same time, we should be able to do this all in one go. I'll get those out of the way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually, I'll just pause the video, I'll tack those on like I did before, and then I'll restart. So bear with me. Okay, right, welcome back. Right, that's everything secure, as you can see. So we're just going to feed everything through there now. And get our coil leads in there. And don't worry too much about the leads for the coil. Of course, this is enamelled copper wire, so it's not going to short out on the legs of the LED. So we'll just get that into position. And I did have to, as you can probably see, widen the screw holes out slightly just to be able to secure this platform to the top of the enclosure. So this looks like the larger screws, so we'll just pop these in here. Just nip that one up, and same on the other side. Okay, get this into position. There we go. Quite long screws these. You just don't want to over tighten them and damage the enclosure. So there we go. I think that's about it. That should do us there. Okay, so there we go. That's the top of the enclosure done. We've got our leads through here for the coil, as you can see. That's for a motor, and our LEDs already attached. So we'll just go ahead and tack these on. So the motor should be straightforward enough. It's matte MT plus and negative. Okay, and if we can adjust this just to get the coil ones in. This might be slightly trickier, but in fact, I think, again, I will pause the video. I think I'll extend those wires just to make it a bit easier. So bear with me yet again. Okay, welcome back. Right, that is the coil connected up. As you can see, I just extend that, put a little couple of pieces of heat shrink on there just to cover the exposed parts of the copper wire on the coil there. Before I put this together, I just want to verify that that LED is connected to the board. So let's just test there and test the other one. That's good. And we're just going to stuff this in here in a fashion. So I think that'll probably sit in there quite nice. I'll just take a bit of hot glue, just a small bit, and we'll stuff that in there. Give it a moment. There we go. And we'll pop the top half of the enclosure on. And there we have it. That's the completed base unit. So the final thing to do is to finish off the rotor. So the only thing I've got to do on here is put the photodiode on here. So remember, we've got that little lens. You can see that little dimple there. That needs to fit in a little hole on top of the PCB, and it's just going to be a case of tacking the leads onto those two pads there. So we'll do that now. Okay, so that's nice and aligned. So we'll just solder the other side. Add a touch more on that side, and that is the rotor complete, other than the coil. So the way this goes is this fits on here like so. We'll take these smaller screws and attach the bracket, whatever you want to call it, onto the top. Obviously make sure the LEDs are pointing up the way, so the screws will be on the screw heads on the same side as the LEDs. And then we take our coil. Now this, as you can see, has a ferrite core, which I just popped in there. And we'll just pop that onto the holder and get these leads prepped up. Now I think I'll probably add a touch of hot glue to the base of this just to hold it all in place, just the tiniest amount here, like so, and that's going to hold the coil and the ferrite core on there, hopefully. And it's just going to be a case of prepping these leads now. So we don't want to cut them too short until they're correctly in position. But looking at the top side of the board, you can see the coil goes across these two contacts. So on the end of this diode and the other side there. I don't know if I've already mentioned, but there's 3 diodes, the larger of which is the 5.1 volts. So the 2 other ones, one goes on here and one goes on the PCB. In fact, I did already show you that, but never mind. And essentially what these are doing, I think, is a half-wave rectification from that, from the coil, to give us a sort of DC for this to operate. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can cut it short, scrape the copper away, and you know, solder it on. However, sometimes you can just get a blob of solder on the iron, and it will burn away the enamel. So we'll try that first. Just getting it in position. Take care not to burn ourselves, like I've just done there. And I think that looks good. I'll do exactly the same on the other side. Yeah, spot on. Okay, take our snips. Hopefully you saw that, sorry if you didn't. Take our snips, cut the excess away. And that should be us good to go. So it should just be a case of simply popping this onto the assembly. Now I don't know if you can see that, but the coil doesn't seem to be fitting inside that very well. Now I don't know if that's designed to be like that, but I'm going to snip these little pegs off anyway. That will give it a little bit more depth. Yeah, that might be a bit better. Okay, so check the alignment of the infrared LED with the photodiode, and I think we're ready to apply power. Now I have no instructions on how, what voltage this uses or what current, so we'll start off low and see if it works. So here goes, fingers crossed. So 3.5 volts. Oh, okay, so that's 3.5 volts and it is working. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Okay, so it is doing something. I'm going to try and take that up to 5 volts. So it does appear we just have a single line of LEDs just now. Now I don't think I want to take it much higher than that. We'll try this. Okay, so we're getting a solid circle just now. We're not getting anything else though. yeah, we'll take it back down. I took it up to about 9 or 10 volts there, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything. But there we go. I mean, I don't know what else to try. Try adjusting this LED, see if that makes any difference. Nope. No, we'll turn it off there. Obviously the coil's working. It is powering it to a certain extent. I have checked all the LEDs before I finished off building it, so I did check all they all illuminate. So it might just be a case of double checking that orientation. It does seem to be okay. I don't know if you can see that. It does seem to be lighting up in the right place. I think it may be programming, possibly. I don't know if it's supposed to come pre-installed. Well, you'd imagine it would have something pre-installed in the microcontroller, but there is obviously a programming header here for it, so we'll have a look around and see if we can you know, get it to work. But there we go. It's built, it's working to a certain extent. Sorry it's not telling us the time, but there we go. It will give you an idea of how to build it. This is only video on YouTube showing you how to build it. There's no instructions internet. I'm not an expert, but I've done my best and showed you what it does. Thanks very much to Graham again for sending it to me. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, thanks very much. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. If you haven't already done so and you'd like to do so, please click on the fat head there and subscribe. Until next time, guys, thanks again. Take care of yourselves and all the best.